Hello and welcome to the JW Thoughts channel. We are back doing the convention crusade. We are on the Sunday morning program. So we got our logic weapons out and we are taking down the walls of Watchtower. Bang, bang. Easy peasy. Well, unless I have like a force field behind the wall, then we just hit it with a bam, bam. Because Watchtower doesn't want to try and catch these hands, baby. That might be the worst one ever. Anyway, seeing how this is the worst one ever and ZZ's here, I think that deserves a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with what is going on with the summer conventions of Jehovah's Witnesses. Run the intro. ZZ's here. ZZ, what would you like to tell the good people of YouTube? ZZ? That's what he would like to tell you.
The man Gideon is the Bible example we will consider. But what is the challenge this talk intends to address? Are you ready for this?
Am I ready for this? What are you talking about? I've been waiting my whole goddamn life for this. Let's go! Oh boy.
Differences between fellow Christians. You might think, no, how can that be? Jesus said the identifying mark of his disciples would be the love among themselves, not the differences. And that is true. In our Christian brotherhood, we feel the love. Love is prominent. It is dominant.
It could never be so. I know you're probably thinking, oh, there's differences of opinion. What could possibly be going wrong here? Oh no, Jesus said that love would be the identifying mark. How could we ever do any of the... Ken, you need to take a breath before your sentences. It helps you sound less crazy. Why does he talk in this way where he always just, okay, now I'm going to start my sentence after I've completely gotten rid of all the air in my lungs. I can hardly even do this because it hurts so much. Help me, please. I don't get it. Like, just take a breath. Talk normal. It would sound a lot less culty and weird if you just talked like a normal, regular person, my man.
But as individuals, we are drenched in imperfection. Differences will inevitably erupt. James 3:2 doesn't mince any words. It says we all stumble many times. Not constantly, not every day, but it acknowledges that we make mistakes many times. A brother or sister may say something to hurt us. Or maybe we push their emotional button with words, or they push ours. Usually it's not intentional. Often it's a misunderstanding. We or they say something in good faith. One thinks it's appropriate, the other does not. Or possibly what we said or did was perceived in a way that we could not even have imagined. But it happened. And now we must sow peace in order to reap peace.
With them because they know best. And what they say is directed by an all-powerful God. Therefore, what they say goes. They don't have to deal with conflicts like regular people. Everyone looks up to them and they look down on everyone else. So whenever I hear a talk, talking about these disagreements, it is always just interesting to my brain because I'm like, how do you really know about this? I'm sure you remember what it was like to be just an ordinary person living your life in the world. And now that you've ascended to this position as a spokesperson for God, you no longer have to deal with that. How nice it must be for no one to disagree with you.
Now, in the following dramatization, notice how a brother prevents a situation from escalating into a confrontation.
I'm sensing a theme here that we'll be skipping over large portions of a lot of the talks going forward because they have the exact same formula. Let us read a scripture in the Bible about what some people thousands of years ago did and then apply it to some modern day situation. It's pretty boring. Even ZZ's upset by the whole situation. So let's get into the dramatization and see what's cooking.
And you know how Jehovah's people are. When there's a need, our brothers step up. So even though we had a lot of work to do back then, we always had willing workers. So many workers that some started to feel like they were being overlooked.
Hey, Ray, what's up?
Hey, Matt, I hear you're organizing the food distribution for our congregation.
Yeah, trying my best.
Yeah, well, can I give you a hand? My truck's all ready to go.
We actually finished just loading up for the day, so I think we're good.
But wow, yeah, thank you very much for offering.
Okay, when's the next run?
You know what, Ray, we're about to pull out right now. Is it okay if I call you back?
Yeah, sure.
Ray was such a hard worker. More than most of us even realized. He put his heart into every assignment. But when I told him we already had all the help we needed, it didn't go the way I hoped.
Ray, I think you're muted.
So what you're saying is you don't think I'm qualified to help out?
No, we know how hard you're working caring for your mom. We didn't want to...
Isn't Paul Thompson on your crew?
Yeah, but...
And Oliver Kagan?
Oliver's my assistant, yes,
So
but...
how does this work, Matt? I mean, you just use your friends and you shut the rest of us out? Don't you think I notice how you brothers ignore me?
I never thought I would be longing to see the Pioneer Sisters fighting. I never thought I would just be begging Watchtower, please let me see more videos about how you feel about ripped jeans. This new set of dramas for the Sunday program, I don't know, it must be going somewhere, so we'll operate under the assumption that things will get better. But my God, the acting is so bad. And old Novak Djokovic, I didn't really know that he had become a Jehovah's Witness, so shout outs to him. That's pretty cool. This situation isn't real. This doesn't even exist. I mean, this isn't even a fantasy. With some of the other dramatizations, they might have been a little bit embellished, but we were able to find some sort of semblance of reality. In this one, I don't think that there are any witnesses that are like, you won't let me work for free. Oh, you'll let Paul Thompson and Oliver Kagan, or whatever his name was, you'll let them work for free, but you won't let me work for free? Why won't you let me work for free? I want to work for free for Watchtower. Why are you ignoring me? It's so, like, no one has done that ever. And if they have, comment down below if you know someone like that, because I would genuinely be curious to know if anyone has, like, begged, I want to clean the toilets at Watchtower. I can't believe you're not letting me clean. Oh my goodness. I guess we could comment just real briefly, though, on the distribution of food. I've heard from so many people that were actually participated in distributing food during the pandemic, and it was food and stuff that was coming from the government, and they were distributing it with this facade that it was coming from Watchtower, where Watchtower were just kind of carrying it to and fro. So they were, again, doing the classic Watchtower thing of taking credit for something that they didn't actually do. So I'm assuming that's what's going on here, but let's follow this really sad drama and see how far Novak Djokovic has reached in his career.
Ray, I owe you an apology. I'm so sorry. I should have spoke with you about this right from the start. You're working so hard taking care of your mom. The last thing we wanted to do was make things harder for you. But even more than that, we didn't want to have to ask you to do something that would put you or your mother at higher risk.
I know. I worry about that too.
You know, your mom? We wouldn't want anything to happen to her. She's one of our congregation treasures.
I know.
And you're not so bad either. Seriously, you're such a good example. Think how Jehovah must feel when he sees all that you're doing. For us and for your mom.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. If something comes up that I can help with, then even just a little, and I can do it from home.
Well, that's a good point. Maybe get your thoughts on something, that's okay.
I'm chalking this one up to a lack of sleep because I have no idea why this existed. It was so unremarkable. Nothing happened at all. Man, I wish I could use my truck and go and maybe make my mom sick with COVID. And man, why can't I be involved with the congregation stuff, man? It's okay. We don't want you to get sick. Hey, that's a good point. You know, if there's anything I can do from home, great. Why does that exist? Why did they make that? Why was dedicated funds used for that? Comment down below if you have an explanation, because I am like racking my brain trying to figure out what I just witnessed, and I can't make heads or tails of it. I'll just say something funny. It's a boy.
Two good brothers. But due to imperfection, they were both looking at the exact same situation from two different perspectives. Matt was well-intended in what he did for Ray. He realized he was caring for his ailing mother. He was trying to protect.
Okay, we're pulling the plug on this talk. It is absolutely silly and stupid, and I want nothing more to do with it. So thank you, Ken Flodine, for absolutely nothing. See ya.
And oh, how sweet restored peace truly is.
Let's look at the following dramatization.
So the beginning of this talk, there was nothing interesting. He talked about Abigail defusing a situation involving David and her husband. Applied it to modern day Christians. We kind of get the formula. Let's speed things up and move along and see what's up with these dramatizations, because at least those have some entertainment value.
And later on, when things got even more intense, that's when our peace was really put to the test.
Yeah, but Tim, you always found a way to keep us positive.
Well, I learned a lot about that from my better half. Amy's always had a way of bringing people together. For example, just before the pandemic, there were these two pioneer sisters in our congregation. Becky was energetic, industrious, and fearless in her ministry. And Lena, experienced, self-sacrificing, and such a good Bible teacher.
Woo! Oh my goodness, man, this dramatization's really kicking off with some exciting news. I'm trying to understand this even from the perspective of believing Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, if I was a believing witness watching this, I would just be thinking to myself, yeah, so? It just seems so incredibly mundane, this whole thing. But let's see how they have some random conflict and then they manage to patch everything up by just saying, they're there.
But they didn't exactly get along.
You ready to go? Are you okay? It's Becky. She's just such a phantom pioneer. We never see her. I'm sorry, but she just needs to be more serious about her ministry.
Oh yes, how it excites me when Watchtower adopts some of the terminology that I like to use, like Phantom Pioneer. For those of you that haven't seen it, I did a whole skit about a Pioneer tier list, and the Phantom Pioneer looked a little bit like, well, this guy. All right, so let's make some car groups and get out there. Does anyone have any plans today? I have a Bible study I'm going to be going on, so I'm all taken care of. Oh, excellent. Would you like someone to go with you on your Bible study? Oh, no. He actually prefers a one-on-one, so Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, okay. Okay. Anybody else? You know, it's really just so hard because, you know, everyone's always, you know, talking behind my back, and I hear the whispers that they say, ooh, he's the phantom pioneer, how does he make his time? But you know what? Jehovah sees what I do, and I have a lot of Bible studies, you know, it's fine. And, you know, when we're all in the paradise, yeah, they won't be whispering anymore. Oh, how sweet it is that the heads up of Watchtower, I would like to think that they had watched that video and been like, yeah, there are phantom pioneers out there. I pat myself on the back a little bit too much here because obviously the expression phantom pioneer has existed for quite some time, but I did think it was funny that it now has been officially sanctioned. I can tell if I was a Jehovah's Witness, I would be like, oh, I can use the expression phantom pioneer. Okay, all right. Good stuff. Well, let's see how this insufferable lady deals with Becky. She's giving such phantom right now. Ah! It's giving phantom. That's what they should have done to make it more realistic. Oh my gosh, Trisha. It's giving a phantom with Becky. Am I right? Okay, I'm cracking myself up a little bit too much. Let's get serious.
You ready to go? Are you okay? It's Becky. She's just such a phantom pioneer. We never see her. I'm sorry, but she just needs to be more serious about her ministry.
Well, she's been doing metro witnessing and...
I know, and LDC too, right? She does plumbing?
concrete. She does have a lot of energy. Remember when we used to be like that?
I don't know that I was ever like Becky.
No, you weren't. You were Beckier than Becky. I couldn't keep up with you. Those long service days in your little red car.
That feels like a long time ago.
You're Beckier than Becky. Oh my God, you're so Becky. Those are long service days in that little red car. Oh my gosh. What is this? What are we watching? We've just completely devolved into adults just like acting like children. This is so wild. And what is she so upset about? What does she do? Plumbing? It's concrete. Like, what? This dialogue is really bad. I'm guessing Ken Flodine had something to do with the writing of this one, because it is just a masterclass on how to make a really, really pathetic, bad cult video.
You know, Becky reminds me a lot of you. I mean, both of us. 20 years ago. She's working so hard, and she's made so many sacrifices for the truth. Just like you have. I think we should get together. The three of us. You should get to know her better.
Nothing better than dedicating your entire life to a religious cult, and then one of your good friends for decades, as it seems, is just like, yep, remember when we used to be like that? We're just a bunch of rickety old pieces of crap now. It's like, hey, thanks for the reminder that we've grown old in this religion and we're still waiting for the end that hasn't come. Hey, let's go have a threesome with this young pioneer sister so that way she can be miserable just like us.
The next week, I had them both over to the house. And the more those two got to know each other, the closer they became.
You know that proverb, the tongue of the wise is a healing? Amy taught me what that verse really means.
Okay, everyone out.
When everything changed, and we suddenly found ourselves locked up together, I tried to show that same spirit. so that we could stay united. And with Jehovah's help, we did.
I like how they just shift between the absolute mundane to the lunatic and crazy side of things. I mean, they just go from talking about these two pioneer sisters not getting along with someone else, and then obviously everything's just all hunky-dory, and you blink your eyes, you take a sip of coffee, and then all of a sudden, now we're in prison. It's just like, well, goddamn, that escalated quickly. But we all had anticipated this moment anyway. We knew it was coming. We knew that Watchtower had a little trick up their sleeves whenever they have these little flashbacks. They've taken one right out of the book of J.J. Abrams. My brain like melted for a second. I was like, who's the flashback king? J.J. Abrams here, and give us the little teaser here with the flashbacks. And then we get to see where they're at now. So I don't know if they're in the paradise. I don't know if they're in the other side of the Great Tribulation, or they're in the 1,000-year reign, or where the hell they are right now. But you know what? I'm here for it. We might be speeding through some of these talks rather quickly just to save ourselves a little time, because the formula seems to be already written in stone. So I will save you any of that boredom, and maybe we'll catch up with our Mormon family and see what they do once they get out of prison.
Now, did you notice what our sister did and did not do? She could have done nothing. She could have let Lena, her service partner, cultivate those thoughts about Becky. Or Amy could have poured fuel on the situation, maybe agreeing with Lena, or telling a few stories how Becky annoyed her as well. But she did not do that. See, Amy's desire to sow peace moved her to help Lena see things from a different perspective. And as a result, the congregation benefited and reaped peace. Additionally, when in the future a force for peace is vitally needed, we will be prepared to provide it. Brother William Malenfant, a helper to the teaching committee, will now consider the next talk of this symposium, How They Sowed and Reaped Peace, Mephibosheth.
So I figured out why my sort of bandwidth is unable to process and keep up and thinking of things to say with these talks. And that's because on day 3 of the convention, we've kind of heard it all at this point when it comes to their giving life advice to Jehovah's Witnesses. So pretty much just here with a rake looking for some of the more culty, funny, or interesting things that they say. But I'm guessing that most witnesses, because these talks are, things that you sort of learn when you're, I don't know, like 8 or 9, yeah, I think most of these talks are just going to be pretty boring to Jehovah's Witnesses. I think they're just going to be sitting there with a glazed look over their face like, yeah, let me guess how I can make peace when someone offends me. I can pray about it and then forget the thing ever happened and go out in service with them. I mean, every single time it's the exact same thing. Pray about it, go out in service with them, try not to think too hard about it, see you later. So I don't think that we're missing a lot of crucial details here by skipping and cutting some of these things out. But if you do want to go and watch this thing in its entirety, good luck.
First time we met David, we were in chains.
I'd seen a lot of things during my time as a guard, but nothing like the peace that you all had.
Prison chains may be strong, but we all had something much stronger.
I never would have expected this amazing plot twist. Yes, we saw it the last one. Then do this really long shot on the prison guard, and bada bing, bada boom, look, he's at the dinner party. So, yeehaw all around for everyone. They were able to use their good example in order to turn a prison guard to becoming one of Jehovah's Witnesses. This is a story that just is continually trotted out by Watchtower for as long as I can remember. Oh yes, we were in prison, and by our good example, someone actually came into the truth. It's really hard to track things when it comes to Watchtower, what stories are actually true, which ones are just retellings of the same ones over and over and over and over again. But I guess we have another example or another dramatization of, hey, make sure that you're always pursuing peace, because when you're in prison, one of those prison guards will be your brother. You were like a brother to me, Anakin.
But we had to work for that peace. Right, Phil?
That's right. See, there was a misunderstanding that got blown all out of proportion, and I didn't handle it the best. The more I tried to defend myself, the worse it became.
Brothers, there must be some mistake. This isn't true. You know me.
I wasn't prepared for how far I would go.
There's one more announcement. Brother Philip Kim is no longer serving as an elder. Well, that brings our meeting to a close.
I had those god-awful announcements read about me one time for having made the mistake of being 21 years old and getting drunk on one single occasion. Yeah, it was absolutely brutal, and even people in the congregation gasped. They audibly gasped when they heard it. Well, Burnett is no longer... People looking at me, it made me feel like absolute crap. Yeah, anyway, I feel your pain there, brother. Unfortunately, like this guy, I wanted to climb back through the ranks and regain my position once again.
The next few months were a real struggle. But when more details came to light, I thought I'd be reappointed. But I wasn't. I couldn't understand why.
Phil, come on.
I felt bitterness growing inside.
So this happened in multiple congregations that I was in, where someone was removed as an elder and the circumstances surrounding it were somewhat dubious. And what ended up happening is a long time would go by, sometimes like 2 or 3 years, and they wouldn't be appointed. But out of a sense of loyalty to the organization and their God, they would just stick with it. Then eventually they got fed up with it and said, you know what, I just want to go to a different congregation. And immediately upon arrival at the new congregation, bang, appointed within 6 months. This is something that does happen with Jehovah's Witnesses because the appointing process oftentimes has more to do with who you're friends with than your own ability as a teacher or as a leader in the congregation.
Everything became about me, how I felt, what I deserved. It was like a fog that stopped me from seeing what Jehovah deserved. And I really needed his help. I found comfort in accounts of Jehovah's servants who were either misunderstood or misjudged, but maintained their loyalty to him. They helped me realize that it's a privilege just to be in Jehovah's organization. Being at peace with my brothers was more important than any appointed position. Without peace, I don't know how we could have managed what was to come. Arthritis bad today? Then I'll be your secretary. Just like Barak was to Jeremiah.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Things were getting a little steamy inside the Jehovah's Witness prison. I'll be your secretary today. But in all seriousness, like, who talks like this? Well, looks like I'll be the Barak to your Jeremiah there, big guy. Like, who talks like this? It's so corny, at least with the Pioneer Sisters and the family we had on the Friday and Saturday convention. At least there was some semblance of reality. But no, we have gone fully just turbo cult mode and are just projecting the wildest, darkest corners of our fantasies into the real world and just projecting that on the big screen for all of us to sit back, grab our popcorn, and enjoy. This is some really good stuff.
If a matter involving slander or fraud arises today, a Christian may choose to follow Jesus' instructions at Matthew 18:15 through 17. However, if for some reason following that procedure does not fully resolve the matter, he or she may choose to pursue it no further and suffer loss rather than disturb the peace of the congregation.
I feel like we're only moments away from in this convention them just saying, hey, if someone doesn't like blue shirts, don't insist on your right to wear a blue shirt. You should just wear whatever color that they want you to wear. Where is this just maintain peace no matter what going to end? I mean, that's a silly example. He's talking about fraud and slander. He's like, you know what? Even if it comes at a personal loss to you, if there's someone is slandering your name, if someone's committed fraud against you, you don't really want to do anything about it because we wouldn't want to disrupt the peace of the congregation. Now, my thing is, when they talk about their identifying marks for being the one true organization, this is something that they'll point to, the internal harmony that they have as an organization. But do they really have internal harmony? Can you say that, wow, this is genuinely special? Or does everyone just like put their hands in their pockets and keep their mouth shut because that's what they're instructed to do? That doesn't make it all that special. If they weren't producing material like this where they're saying, hey, even if it's illegal, even if someone's backstabbing you, it doesn't matter what it is, just keep your damn mouth shut, we wouldn't want to give the appearance that there's any fighting between Christians at all. I don't think that identifies you as a true Christian. I think that identifies you as a high control group.
We can leave any unresolved issues with Jehovah, knowing that he sees what we do and what others do, and he will carry out justice at the right time.
And there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Jehovah's Witnesses that have lived and died thinking this exact same thing. Well, I know justice will get carried out by God eventually in his due time, and then it's all over and nothing ever happens. This is the danger of following Watchtower. This is why people need to speak out against them, and people need to be aware of these practices, because what they're telling people to do is don't live your life. Just sit around and wait for Jesus to come in on the clouds and make everything better for you.
But you know, there's more to the story. Phil didn't know just how tense things were between Tim and I.
No idea.
We never talked. I mean, really talked about it. Until it was too late.
Now, I want it to be known that for years, I was lambasted by circuit overseers and elders for having jackets and suits and pants that were too tight. And I kid you not, they fit kind of like the suit that this guy's wearing. So it had nothing to do with the tightness of the suit. It just had to do with the style. Oh, that was too far ahead. And you had a bunch of old heads that were the elders that had gotten used to the look of the 90s where everything was baggy. Now that some of them are gone and you have more younger elders, now all of a sudden it's magically acceptable. I wonder if God is making these stupid, ridiculous rules, or if it's just a bunch of dudes that get old, get crotchety, and are completely delusional, and they're just trying to force their will on other people.
Look, we need to talk. I think we need to seriously reconsider Phil's qualifications. You know he's not the type of brother that
Enough. Enough about Phil. Look, I know he's your friend. But the body agreed that he's no longer qualified to serve.
Friend? He's worked with us for years.
The body decided unanimously that he should no longer serve.
Because you pushed them.
Excuse me?
It's enough that we have those outside the congregation putting pressure on us. We do not need more in here.
Seriously think?
The conversation, the argument, it was terrible. We both said things we didn't mean.
And after that, we both handled the situation poorly.
Are we watching like the elder version of Mean Girls, or what is going on here?
We need to make things right. It wasn't easy, but we talked it out.
And we made peace. With Jehovah's help.
Can you imagine what it would have been like in that cell block if we hadn't?
We finally told Phil the whole story once we were all roommates.
Wow.
You ready?
Let's go sing.
Wow. Hey, let's go sing. Bad acting aside, it is pretty curious on how the elder body, they can just wait until after the Great Tribulation or during the Great Tribulation to actually resolve their differences. Once they get this sign, actual sign from God, now they can get in there and start dealing with some of the problems that they have. Yet, if you're just some pioneer sisters, you need to figure this stuff out now. But there is one universal universal truth amongst Jehovah's Witnesses is that when everyone becomes friends again, you have to sing. We had the Pioneer Sisters just jamming out in the car. They were just completely getting it. And now you got these baritone bastards getting ready to belt out some Kingdom melodies in the jail cell. Oh, woohoo.
In dark, stormy seas, God's people are living in peace. With our eyes of faith, we see beyond the clouds and know that the storm soon will cease. To the ends of the earth, there'll be peace at last for all eternity.
Oh man, I just love that song. All right, you guys ready to go hit the shower? Thus ends another Convention Crusade episode. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video, and as always, I will see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. We are going to see the conclusion of this symposium, and Stephen Lett is going to be departing his wisdom from his brain onto our ears. So I look forward to it. We can look forward to the riveting conclusion of this drama series. So I will see you all tomorrow. Take care and be cool.